Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm in the office area. It's actually a bit of a mess. I've just tidied it up a little bit for this video. I'm not 100% happy with my office layout still. Keep changing bits. The computer was originally on this desk the last time you saw it. It's now over there on another desk. I might change it a little bit again, but I'm not in any rush to complete the office purely because I've got lots of time at the moment in being stuck indoors, so I'm taking my time and slowly doing it bit by bit. Now, the reason for this video is I actually got quite a few messages on my Instagram a few weeks ago asking what setup do I have, because every now and then they see my camera gear featured in small Instagram stories and things, and they noticed that I wasn't shooting on full frame and I didn't have a full array of L-lens glass available, but they liked my images still and things like that. So they're just asking how I went about it, and I told them my gear specs and what I had and things like that. But they were quite shocked on the lens that I use the most. So I thought, well, maybe I should make a video about it and let others decide on what they think about this lens. But personally, I like it. So yeah. Right, it is the Canon 10 to 18mm lens. I think it's an absolutely fantastic, great little lens. It is only for crop censored bodies, which is fantastic for me considering I only have two crop censored bodies. I haven't moved to full frame yet, which is a completely new video and another story, the reason behind it. I won't go into any of it today, but yes, I absolutely love this lens, and I love it that much that I actually own two of them. I've got one on my 200D now shooting this video, and I have this one which goes on my 80D, and it stays on my 80D all the time. And obviously this one stays on my 200D for vlogging and making videos. And the other reason why I kind of liked the fact that I got this lens with the 200D when I bought it is the fact that I've now got a backup as well. So, because some of the things that I go and shoot, like if I'm ever shooting super low seascape stuff, one day I may drop my camera and it hits the front element and something hits it, or I've got a spare. I don't think I could live without this lens at all. Like I said, I shoot 95% of my photography work on this lens. It's not a fixed aperture lens. There's no point being unless you're shooting 10mm all the time. I think it's f4. I think it goes down to a 4.5. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've never used it at that aperture at all. But as soon as you move it, it basically goes to 5.6. So I'd rather it just say it's a fixed aperture of 5.6. But like I said, I don't use it. I think I've used 5.6 a couple of times, but most of the time I shoot about f8, anywhere between f8 and f16 on this lens, which is fantastic to me. I don't need it for low light capabilities or anything like that. I've got primes for that. So it's not the sharpest lens in the world, by all means. It really isn't, but it's sharp enough for Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and printing. So what more would you, unless I'm blowing up massive or cropping in loads, or something like that, I don't need it. Hence, I haven't moved full frame yet, and I don't need my L glass. Yes, it would be handy, but I don't need it yet. I don't feel like I need to spend all that money to get that extra yet. I'm happy with what I've got, so this is what I'm sticking with. And the price is absolutely fantastic as well. I mean, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't looked this up, but in fact, I will look it up. So at this current time, you can pick these up for around about £200 or about 150 secondhand. And the one I'm shooting on now is a secondhand one. This one was my brand new one. This was the one I used for stills. This is the one I used for video. But like I said, they're exactly the same. I've done a test sharpness on both of these lenses to see if there was a slight difference in sharper quality, but no, they're consistently they're exactly the same. So yeah, I mean, if you are looking for a cheap wide-angled lens, you're shooting on crop sensors still, or you're looking to get into wide-angled photography, I would recommend this. I highly would recommend this lens, 100%. It changed my photography for the better. And I'm not going to say that just because it's my work. It is for the better. And I see things a lot differently. Like I said, I can't leave the house without this lens in my bag. I will always view every composition that I find using this built into my head, you know, and not always the best thing to do, to be honest, in certain situations, because obviously if you're shooting wide open spaces or whatever and you want to, you know, it's not handy for picking detail out at all. But that's kind of why I have the telephoto lens for that. I can get away with shooting with this lens, the 10-18 and a telephoto lens in my bag, 2 lenses, that's it. I do carry a mid-range focal length lens as well in my bag, but that very rarely makes it out. It will either be super long or super wide for my photography, and I always tend to go super wide. I like making my scene look very big in the foreground, and so I can capture that sky, and my focal point as such is looking very dominant in the photo and things like that. So that's kind of my way of shooting with this lens. I do tend to shoot a lot of portrait work with it, not landscape. It's just personal preference. It's not to say that it doesn't work that way. It's perfectly fine. Like I said, I'm not going to go into all the specs on how much barrel distortion you'd get or vignetting and things like that. There is plenty of other videos. Well, I'm guessing there's plenty of other videos on YouTube that will go through all of that stuff. If I find any, I will put them in the description below so you can check it out. But like I said, this lens goes absolutely everywhere with me. It's fantastic. It does what it says on the box. Like I said, you can get better quality glass, but not on a... I personally don't think there is another lens that I will replace this with until I go to full frame, which then will be a L lens wide angle. Until then though, this stays in my bag. I've got to. It's my favorite lens. Check it out. It's not expensive at all. So, and it will open up your photography a lot. It did for me. And everybody that's ever come up to me and said, "Oh, what are you shooting on?" Or I've always told them, either get the 50mm 1.8, the Nifty 50. It's a great little lens to start off with, and the wide angle. They're not relatively expensive. So, and everyone that I've said that to and they've gone and bought it, they have been happy with my advice. So hence why I'm making this video as well about this lens. So yeah, go check it out. If you're looking after a cheap wide angled lens that isn't going to break the bank and it is good quality, then yeah, just check it out. But yeah, thanks for watching anyway. It's just a quick sort of a little video just to show what I'm up to really, and to, you know, office ain't doing much. So, but yes, I will speak to you all very soon. I have got another video hopefully coming out a week after this one where I shoot black and white, as well as I'll be using this lens for all of those images as well. So stay tuned for that, and I will speak to you all very soon. Goodbye.